What the hell is happening in Canada? Welcome to Ordinary Canadian episode 3, Walking and Talking. We already did a video about the War Powers Act deadline in the United States on Prime Road, Maine. But basically, 60 days from when the US launched Operation Epic Fury without telling its allies, without consulting Canada, without consulting a congressional vote, depending on how you count it, Trump faces a deadline either today or in 2 days. Under American law, the president's required to either get congressional authorization or end the war. He's doing neither. The Canadian dimension is important, so let's sit with it. Canada has a very specific relationship to this legal question. It's just getting no coverage domestically. Canada is a member of NORAD. Canadian officers sit inside Cheyenne Mountain. Canadian personnel are integrated into U.S. military command structures at multiple levels. In fact, Canada shares intelligence with the U.S. through Five Eyes, along with the UK, New Zealand, and Australia. And Canada is being asked, has been quietly asked through channels, to support mine-clearing operations on Hormuz once there's a ceasefire, to which Mark Carney has given what appears to be a tentative yes. So Canada is actually close enough to the military architecture of this war to be potentially participating in its aftermath, but Canada said nothing about the legal basis on which the war is being prosecuted past its own statutory deadline. And I actually have a pending ATIP request with Department of National Defense JAG about this, but it's another story. Carney's position, stated carefully across interviews, is Canada was not consulted. Canada does not consider the offensive element to be legitimate and does not support it, but Canada is willing to play a constructive role in a ceasefire process. Canada basically supports preventing Iran from getting a nuclear weapon. Depending on how you see the Middle East, that position is tenable or not. But it's a position that's carefully designed basically to say nothing and to commit us to nothing, which is understandable because we're in an impossible position right now. The US is simultaneously our closest military partner and our biggest economic threat. Critiquing the war too loudly means pissing Washington off at the worst possible time for trade negotiations. Supporting it too loudly means alienating 61% of Canadians who actually oppose the strikes. But here's the thing specifically about the War Powers deadline. It's not a question of whether Iran's nuclear program is dangerous. It's not a question about whether the US had the right to act. It's a question about whether the rule of law inside the United States is being respected, whether the constitutional relationship between the executive and legislative branches is functioning. Canada, as a country that staked its entire post-Trump foreign policy identity on defending the rules-based international order, had said exactly nothing of the president ignoring his own country's law with regards to this war.